And of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
What's up, Danger? Can't stop me now.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger. I'm San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM. SASportsStar.com. Lots of ways to get at me this afternoon. Of course, you can catch us on our Kielbasa Smoke Meats phone lines at 656 ESPN. That is 210-656-3776. Or you can follow along on our YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube, search San Antonio Sports Star, like, subscribe, all of that great stuff. Of course, you can follow along in the comment section there, as I will get to them. But I'd like to start off today with a little bit of congratulations, of course, to the Denver Nuggets, as you heard in the update, or if you've been under a rock since last night. They are the NBA champions. Nikola Jokic got MVP honors, and it was a beautiful sight up at the Ball Arena.
Rebound, Caldwell Pope, 10 seconds to go. Miami's not going to foul. No team in NBA history's waited longer. After 47 years, the Denver Nuggets are finally NBA champions. They take down the Heat in 5 games. The Nuggets, the 2023 NBA champs.
Champions indeed, and it feels so good. I know all of sports fans that have gone through this remember their first titles. I remember one as a Rockets fan. I remember the Spurs in 99 with them getting their first title. I remember watching my Astros win their first title just a few years ago in 2017, and the feelings that invokes. So knowing that Denver has gone through this, they've gotten out the other side. They've got a great roster that is set to compete for a good little chunk of change if they can manage to keep this all together. And a lot of it feels that guys like Aaron Gordon are fine in their roles. Bruce Bowen, who's going into free agency, is already talked about the fact that money isn't everything. So you know that he's willing to come back on a team-friendly-ish deal to kind of keep the band together. You got Nikola Jokic on the 5-year, $272 million Supermax deal. So Jokic isn't going anywhere. You got Porter for 4 more years at $148. Jamal Murray for 2 more years at $69 million. He, of course, will probably be that linchpin of the guy that they're going to need to re-sign at some point. Other than that, Aaron Gordon still got 3 years, $66 million on his deal. So this is a team that, at least for the next 2, 3, 4 years, has a window that they're able to get something done and maybe capitalize on all of this talent that they have, but along with the role players. KCP even has 2 years, $30 million left on his deal. So the Nuggets are in a position where they are and should be probably the favorites next year to start the season. It's great for them. But what does that mean for the San Antonio Spurs? Well, you're going to have to compete against that roster that I just mentioned for the next few years, unless something happens and it starts to break itself up, like they feel Michael Porter Jr. isn't part of the long-term goal, or they need to shed his salary to re-sign a Jamal Murray in a couple of years. Then you can start to see chinks and cracks in the code. But the Spurs bringing in what is supposed to be a generational talent here in a few years, and Victor Wembanyama, that's going to be, how do you get from there, getting that generational talent, to surrounding the generational talent to be able to do what Denver's doing? Some of it's going to be with the draft picks. I think a lot of the pieces are kind of already there. I love Devin Vassell. I think Keldon Johnson's going to be a nice piece to add to that. Jeremy Sohan adds value. Now it's going to be finding those ancillary pieces to really complete the puzzle. Wesley and Malachi Branham, could be great rotational pieces that could end up being really big lottery tickets that you hit on as they continue to develop. But the question is, what are you going to do at point guard? What are you going to do at center? Zach Collins, as of right now, is your starting center. I know you've got Charles Bassey, San Antonio's own, that could turn into something like that. Sure. But I think you go sign a Brook Lopez. You've got the money in free agency to go spend it. Get Brook Lopez. It brings in another shooter, and then bring in a veteran point guard that knows how to kind of complete the roster. And I know a lot of San Antonio fans are down on Chris Paul. But the thing is, Chris Paul is won everywhere he's been. So you got to look at the effect that Chris Paul has on a roster. Chris Paul, when he comes to a roster, and I'm aware he is not there in the postseason when it matters most, he always gets hurt. But do you not trust this organization with the way that they handle players to be healthy at the end of the season? Do you not trust them to do so with a Chris Paul? A team that has literally written the book on load management and how to help prolong players' careers. Are you saying that all of a sudden we don't trust them because of what Chris Paul has gone through in previous iterations? Because what I do know is when he goes somewhere, that team usually starts winning and winning at an extremely high clip, a high clip unlike anything that franchise has ever seen before. Now, it's going to be really hard for a team that has been to the heights that the Spurs have been at. But when he first gets to New Orleans, franchise record 56 wins 2 years in. With the Clippers, franchise records 57 wins when he walks through the door. When he gets to the Houston Rockets, franchise record 65 wins for that team. They end up going to the Western Conference Finals, and if not for the god-awful shooting three-point percentage in that final game, they're playing in a finals and might have an actual title. And Chris Paul, this is all a moot point, but he goes to the Suns. Franchise record, 63 wins. I mean, he goes and he wins because win. And when you're dealing with as much youth as this team has, they need somebody that can help convey what it takes to win. And I think CP3 would be a great veteran addition for a couple of years that can expedite this rebuild into, if Victor Wembanyama is who we think he is, an instant contender in the Western Conference. What say you, 656 ESPN 656-3776. Speaking of Houston, down in Houston, the Texans, well, they inducted J.J. Watt into their Ring of Honor. And J.J. Watt going into the Ring of Honor, great things. It's good to see him get his due. And I love the fact that Houston's not waiting. They're not doing what Dallas is doing with Jimmy Johnson or even DeMarcus Ware. There are certain players that as soon as they stop playing, like Tom Brady, are going into the Hall of Fame. And there's a one-way ticket. There shouldn't be an arbitrary waiting period or looking for the perfect situation, or maybe we're going to be bad and we can sell tickets to this game all of a sudden if we bring this guy in. Houston's already at an all-time high right now in terms of what the temperature level is in terms of the team. They're not waiting to see if they fall flat and then bring them in at the end of the year to maybe boost up ticket sales again. No, they know J.J. Watt deserves to be in their Ring of Honor the second he stopped playing. So they brought him back, and he is going into the Ring of Honor in week 4, the same year that he said he's not going to, play anymore. So that is great news. I love seeing a team take advantage like that. It's not often we get to see the Texans talked about in this sort of light where you're complimenting them on the way that they've handled a certain situation. But this is a situation I think that they have handled absolutely perfectly. And the fact that they're doing it against the Steelers when both his brothers are in town, Derek and TJ, who play for the Steelers, his parents will be at that game. Like, his whole family's going to be there now. It just makes perfect sense. And the Texans did a great thing on that by bringing him in. But JJ talked about some of the dark times that he went through. And if you remember, at the end of that season, he had asked the team to be released following that 2020 COVID season, and they granted it to him. And he said he is forever grateful for the Texans for that.
We had talked about this at that time of the release. I mean, obviously, we're going through a very tough time, a difficult time. And we knew that this day was going to come, that we were all going to reunite and come back together. As far as the one-day contract, like, I personally just don't really understand or see the reason for it. I mean, it's more of just a ceremonial piece of paper. I think that the Ring of Honor and all of that comes with it is more than enough. I think they've done it first class the whole way, and I appreciate that. I mean, I haven't even filled out or done any retirement papers or anything. I just, so I don't really feel the need to sign a one-day contract or anything. It's just a piece of paper.
But it was always a part of the plan for him to be brought back. DLP on our YouTube live feed says, how long do I think it'll be before D hops in the Ring of Honor? Probably after he quits playing. I imagine it won't take long for that one to get done either, because I do believe DeAndre is beloved. There was an incident on his way out the door where he talked about Wagner and his unfortunate comments that I believe were taken out of context with the inmates in the asylum or the inmates in the prison. He just got his analogies mixed up. But we'll see. Time heals all wounds. And there is talk about a potential reunion between the two sides on both sides of it. And even J.J. Watt talked about the possibility of a reunion between those two.
In terms of Hop, I mean, that's completely up to him what he wants to do. I think that I've said it many times, he's still got the best hands in the NFL. You throw the ball within 10 yards, the man is going to catch it. It's completely up to him what he's looking for, what he wants to do. I know he's obviously said previously that he wants to go somewhere and win and have a chance to win a Super Bowl. I think I can realistically say that we may be a year or two or so away from the true competition for that. We got to get the ecosystem in place, and I mean, hopefully they surprise the out of us, and that'd be great if it was this year. But I think that there's certainly a process here, and we have to respect that process as well.
J.J. Watt today on Zoom with the Houston Texans as he was with the media talking about his going into the Ring of Honor. But when we come back, we're going to pour one out on the door on our way out and talk about running backs. Are they possibly in trouble with what's going on? We heard about it with Joe and even earlier today on R&R about weaponizing of the franchise tags by these owners. This is not anything new, and it's already been happening. It's just happening to a different position group now. We're talking about it next right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Congratulations to the Denver Nuggets.
The Denver Nuggets have finally done it.
The 2023 NBA Finals champion. The Nuggets win the NBA Finals for the first time in Nugget team history. No joke. The Joker wins the MVP. And you heard it here all season long on your exclusive home for the NBA. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If car designers can make cars look like anything, why are there so many boring cars? Why not a car that looks like an ancient sword? Or the future? The sky isn't even the limit at Nissan. Why be boring when you can make a katana blade slice through traffic? That's the Nissan Z. Or something from the future whizzing by. And that's the Aria. Nissan. Redesign for thrill. 2023 Aria has limited availability. See dealer for financing details.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
The year is almost half over and you're still dealing with that knee or hip pain. Enough is enough. Pills are not the answer. Surgery is not the answer. You need to call QC Kinetics today. Hey, it's James Pledger with 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. The advanced regenerative medicine solutions at QC Kinetics can give you life without chronic joint pain. You can do all those summer activities you used to enjoy. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in taking healing properties from your own body and then applying them right into your achy joint, so your joint tissue can be repaired and restored naturally. The treatment is truly revolutionary. Patients across America are having life-changing results, and there's no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. If you have pain in your knees, back, shoulders, hips, you need to stop what you're doing and call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. Learn how the latest advances in regenerative medicine can give you your life back. Call 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
If you're hiring, it can feel like trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. Like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Now try ZipRecruiter free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/FREE.
Chase loves soccer.
I'm Chase Greer, and I'm 12 years old.
And his dream is to turn pro. That's why Chase and his family make sure he's always having fun and squeezing out his best with Go-Go Squeeze.
Okay, buddy, let's break for a Go-Go Squeeze.
Go-Go Squeeze fruit on-the-go pouches are a nutritious snack made from 100% fruit with no sugar added.
That's my boy!
Because when you nurture your kids, you squeeze out the best in them. Squeeze out the best with Go-Go Squeeze. Not a low-calorie food. Products range from 11 to 13 grams of sugar and 60 to 70 calories per serving.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa.
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
if these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's Connect Pfizer.
Sizzling summer savings are happening now at Ashley. Get ready to save on the hottest furniture styles for every room in your home. Upgrade your living room with a new sectional. Create a restful retreat with a new bed. Or elevate your dining room with a new dining set. And to make these sizzling savings even hotter, we offer flexible payment options for every budget. Score savings that are almost too hot to handle. Visit your local Ashley store or ashley.com to shop and save today.
I was in a terrible accident with a commercial vehicle. I had to have surgery on my back. My life was turned upside down and I was completely screwed. Then I called the Fours, the Davis law firm. Jeff personally handled my case. After expenses and attorney fees, I received $397,988. It's really true. Jeff was here for me.
I'm Jeff Davis. If you were injured by a car or large truck, call me at my San Antonio office at 444-4444. That's 444-4444. There's only one number to remember, and that's 4.
Hi there, I'm Dwayne Sharping, owner of Roof Fix. We understand how stressful it is dealing with storm damage. That's why we're offering a special deductible relief program that gives you instant rebates up to $2,500 that you can use towards your deductible. Plus, our relief program also includes 0 down, 0 interest, 0 payments for 6 months with approved credit.
Call Roof Fix today at 210-FIX-ROOF or visit their website at rooffixsa.com.
Roof Fix, home of the low price guarantee.
This is Rudy J from R&R in the Morning. Join us tomorrow morning at 6 on your ride to work. Now, more with Joe and Amber on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
No, Joe and Amber. It's Extra Innings with Pledger. Right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. You can get us out of the Kielbasa Bacon phone lines, 656 ESPN. Kielbasa Smoke Meat phone lines, 210-656-3776. Look, the NFL players are doing, or the NFL owners are doing what I have suggested for a long time. So it'd be very hypocritical of me to call them out on doing exactly what I said they should do. Running backs have a short career. It is not a long lifespan. And I get it. They want to get paid their fair amount. Saquon Barkley, the latest among them. And Saquon Barkley has a case for that because he is the New York Giants offense. But when you're dealing with running backs, the problem is they are easier to find than quarterbacks, which is why quarterbacks get paid so much more, even if you're average, because it is better to have average than nothing. And that's where the difference in price comes from. And what players or owners are starting to do, as you saw this year, top 3 running backs, Josh Jacobs, who was declined their 5th-year option, by the way, the Raiders did before franchise tagging him, Tony Pollard and Saquon Barkley all received the franchise tag at $10.1 million. Miles Sanders and the running backs that did hit the market didn't get more than $6.5 million a year. Does that change if those 3 hit the market? Maybe a little bit. I don't think a lot. Saquon's the only one that I think would have moved the market substantially more than anything. And it's difficult because you can find running backs at any point in the draft. They do translate to the NFL easier than most positions, and their shelf life is just very short. They may get a second contract. They're definitely not getting a third. So it is not ideal, but you get what you sign up for. So it is hard to feel too bad for the players. Look, people, I love what I do. A lot of people love what I do. I've chosen a life that I'm going to work a lot of hours and not make as much money as I could in another profession, but I'm doing what I love. Running backs have to make that choice of, do they want to get paid like a different player on the field, then change to a different position, or if they just want what comes with being a running back, the touches, the glory, and the short career span that it's going to have on a player. I mean, Earl Campbell can hardly walk right now because of the punishment he went through. Derrick Henry, not much better. Saquon Barkley's dealt with injuries, has been injury prone since getting his contract. It is a brutal position you have to play, but there are advantages. You are making a lot of money, even though for a short period of time. You get that second contract, you get your money, you put it away, and hopefully move into broadcasting or something else and expand on the celebrity that your name gives you. Otherwise, change positions. It's going to be a dying position, but it is what it is, and you have to capitalize, and the owners are doing that by using the franchise tag. You give them their rookie deal, you pay them their 5th-year option, you give them a couple franchise tags, and you're probably not going to give them that long-term deal. And for an owner, for a team dealing with a salary cap, that's the best way for them to handle these situations. Look, guys, I teased it earlier. If you've been listening to Extra Innings or seen us on the socials, I have got tickets to go see Nothing More. They are coming to the Aztec Theater for their Spirits 2023 North American Tour, September the 16th. And I've got your tickets to go check it out right now. If you're caller number 7 at 656 ESPN, 656-3776, Rangers, Angels, Game 2 coming up next.
Guys, did you know that June is Men's Health Month? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T level is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your hormones are serious business, and most men start to see changes in their hormone levels starting in their 30s. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Get your T levels checked today by a local, experienced, and trusted healthcare professional. Revive Men's Health has successfully helped thousands of men since 2011. Experience and results matter. So, what are you waiting for? Call Revive today to schedule your free testosterone test and free exam. We know we can help you. We guarantee it. Celebrate Men's Health Month. Get your free T-level test and save $199. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Hi, Jason Minix here for Noble Gold and their website, noblegoldinvestments.com. If you've been thinking of how to secure the value of your assets and grow your wealth, you need to think gold. After the latest bank failures and other economic news that